Good morning, students. In the previous classes, we have learnt about Mendelian experiments. From them, we have learnt about the tallness trait is expressed even when it is having only one copy. Right? That trait is known as dominant trait. The traits which can be expressed with a single copy of genetic information are known as dominant traits. Example, tallness of garden pea plant. It is one of the examples for dominant trait. Tallness trait can be expressed either with capital T combination or with even capital T small t combination. In capital T small t combination, how many copies of tallness trait information is there? Only one copy. So this trait is able to express itself with single copy of genetic information itself. Because here in capital T small t combination, only capital T copy provides the genetic information for the tallness trait. Small t copy, it provides the genetic information for shortness trait. But still, in this combination, even though only single copy of genetic information is there for tallness trait, still it is expressed. Such a trait is known as dominant trait. Next, recessive traits. The traits which can be expressed only with two same copies of genetic information are known as recessive traits. Shortness of garden pea plant is example for recessive trait. This shortness trait can be expressed only with small t combination. If only, see here, capital T small t is there. Capital T could express itself, but small t could not express itself. Hence, for its expression, for shortness trait expression, single copy of genetic information is not enough. Both copies should have the same shortness genetic information. Then only it will be expressed. Right? Okay. So, the shortness trait is expressed only with small t combination. That's why it is recessive trait. Dihybrid cross. Mendel has conducted initially monohybrid cross. In that monohybrid cross, Mendel has taken two pure garden pea plants. One pure garden pea plant is pure for only one particular trait, that is tallness. The another plant is its contrasting trait, that is shortness. So totally one character, shortness or tallness. How many characters they are presenting? Only one character. What is that character? Height. For character height, tallness and shortness are the alternative forms. So Mendel has conducted the cross between two garden pea plants by considering only one character of contrasting traits. Such a cross is known as monohybrid cross. At the same time, if Mendel takes in account another character which is having contrasting traits, then total how many characters have become? Two characters. First one is character height. Second one, he has taken seed shape. Right? Seed shape. So Mendel has taken in the next experiments two characters into consideration for his observation of inheritance of traits. So such a cross is known as dihybrid cross. In a definition manner, how you have to learn that dihybrid cross. The cross which is conducted between garden pea plants of two characters of contrasting traits. Of two characters of characteristics of contrasting traits rather than just only one. In the monohybrid cross, the garden pea plants are taken for cross with only one characteristic into consideration. Whereas here, in dihybrid cross, the garden pea plants with two characteristics of contrasting traits are taken into consideration. Okay, right. So example, tall plants with round seeds. Tallness, it is for character height. Round seeds, it is for seed shape. Short plants with wrinkled seeds. Shortness, it is for character height. Wrinkled seeds, it is for character seed shape. So in both plants, which two characters are taken into consideration? Character height and character seed shape. So two characters are taken into consideration. So it is dihybrid cross. Okay. And obviously these first plants, that is tall plant with round seeds, both tallness and round seeds they are dominant here. That's why for your understanding we have written the whatever first we are writing, they are the dominant one, right? And another one, short plants and wrinkled seeds, they are recessive traits. Okay. And these plants, tall plants with round seeds, they are pure plants. Short plants with wrinkled seeds, they are also pure plants. When the cross is conducted between these two plants, okay, F1 generation, all plants, they were obtained with the tallness and round seeds. Why F1 generation, all of the plants were tall and round seeds, round seeded one? This was happened because tall and round traits are dominant traits over short and wrinkled traits. So all F1 plants are tall plants with round seeds. These F1 progeny plants, they are used to generate F2 progeny plants by self-pollination. During monohybrid cross, what was happened? When F1 tall plants were selfed to produce F2 progeny, in a 3:1 ratio, tall and short plants were obtained. Accordingly, Mendel has expected that tall, round and short wrinkled plants will be obtained in a 3:1 ratio in F2 generation here in this dihybrid cross. Okay. But to his surprise, two new combinations of traits also are expressed in F2 progeny. What are the old combinations? Tall, round and short, wrinkled. The new combinations that were appeared tall, wrinkled and short, round. These are the two new combinations of traits that were appeared in F2 progeny with a dihybrid cross. See, what are the old combinations? Tall, round and short, wrinkled. And what are the new combinations that were obtained in F2 progeny of dihybrid cross? Tall, wrinkled and short, round. These were not there in parental plants, but they were appeared. When F1 progeny, tall and round plants were selfed, the F2 progeny plants that were obtained are in the following ratio. In which ratio this old and new combinations were appeared? Tall, round 9, tall, wrinkled 3, short, round 3 and short, wrinkled 1 in a 9:3:3:1 ratio of tall, round, tall, wrinkled, short, round and short, wrinkled plants were obtained. when more than one characteristic with contrasting traits are considered for the cross, then F2 progeny plants are formed with new combinations of traits along with the parental old traits of combinations. So tall, round and short wrinkled, they are the parental trait combinations. Tall, wrinkled and short, round are the new combinations. Such that the formation of new combinations of traits in F2 progeny plants explains that contrasting traits of different characteristics get independently inherited during the time of crossing. So, the formation of new combinations of traits in F2 progeny plants, what it is explaining? It is explaining that the contrasting traits of different characteristics get independently inherited during the time of crossing if more than one characteristic of contrasting traits are taken into consideration. See, there is one more such cross. If round seeds having plant with yellow color, round seeds with yellow color having plants are crossed with wrinkled seeds with green color having plants. So, for character roundness, capital R, for yellow color, capital Y, capital I are capital Y, capital Y are taken as syllables, and for wrinkled, small r, and green, small y are taken. They are the parental combination. So, F1 progeny all are with round seeds and yellow color, capital R, capital Y, small y. But when these F1 plants were self-pollination is carried out, F2 progeny plants will be obtained. And what will be their combination? Round yellow, okay, and wrinkled green will be there. Round yellow will be 9, wrinkled green will be 1, and round green will be 3, wrinkled yellow will be 3. So this ratio will not be changed. Don't expect that exactly that particular number of plants will be formed. That is only ratio, approximate ratio. Why is it happening like this? Because of independently getting inherited. Okay. See, this particular ratio of 9:3:3:1, round yellow, round green, wrinkled yellow, wrinkled green plants, it shows that the independent inheritance of the contrasting traits of different characteristics during the time of dihybrid cross or trihybrid cross or tetrahybrid cross. If the number of characteristics with contrasting traits is increased from more than one in a cross, then more combinations, 2 power n combinations of traits are going to appear in different plants. Now let us learn how do traits get expressed and how does the mechanism of heredity work. How do traits get expressed or how does the mechanism of heredity work? Proteins, they are the chief biomolecules in most of the living organisms because they decide all of the characteristics of the organisms. These proteins are made in cell using the information of cellular DNA. Gene, it is one section of this cellular DNA that provides the information to make one protein. Then it is called gene for that protein. What is gene? a section of DNA, a section of cellular DNA that provides the information to make one protein. As it was already told, all of the characteristics of every living organism are controlled by the protein present in its cells. But these proteins are made using the information from cellular DNA. And for every protein, there is a section of DNA in that cellular DNA. That section of DNA for a protein is called gene. So many proteins are there, so many genes are there. When proteins are controlling the characteristics, based on the information from the genes, the proteins are made. So indirectly, who are controlling the characteristics? Genes are controlling the characteristics. So how genes control characteristics are their traits. Genes control characteristics are their traits by providing the correct information or an altered information for the synthesis of proteins. Right? Genes control characteristics or their traits by providing correct information or an altered information for the synthesis of proteins that ultimately decide the characteristics of the living organisms. So here we are taking one such example. Height is a characteristic of plants. Plants have hormones. They trigger growth. These hormones are known as phytohormones or plant growth regulators. So plant's height, it depends on the amount of the hormone that is triggering the growth. And amount of this hormone, it depends on the efficiency of its biosynthetic process. A hormone is synthesized by some biosynthetic process inside the plant cells. If that biosynthetic process efficiency is very high, then that particular hormone is synthesized very high and the plant growth will be taking place nicely. If that particular biosynthetic process of that hormone is not that efficient enough, then the hormone that is synthesized will be low and growth may not be taking place properly. But how this efficiency of the biosynthetic process is controlled? It is by some enzyme. In living organisms, every biochemical process is catalyzed by some or other enzymes. There is no biochemical process in the living organisms which is an uncatalyzed one. That means every biochemical process, whether it is a biosynthetic process or biodegradable process, it is a catalyzed, enzyme catalyzed process. So here, hormone which is responsible for the growth of the plant is synthesized by some biosynthetic process. This biosynthetic process is catalyzed by some enzyme. All enzymes are proteins only. So, efficiency of this biosynthetic process depends on the enzyme that catalyzes this biosynthetic process. Remember or note, enzyme is a protein. If the gene for this protein provides correct information, then correct protein or enzyme is made, and this correct protein or enzyme, it will catalyze the biosynthetic process of growth promoting hormone efficiently. Then the amount of the hormone that is produced by this biosynthetic process will be high enough. Then the plant growth also will be very good and the plants will appear tall. When will it happen? If the gene for this enzyme or protein, it is providing correct information to synthesize that protein or enzyme correctly, then the enzyme which is synthesized correctly will be catalyzing the biosynthetic process of that growth promoting hormone correctly. Then the biosynthetic hormone, the hormone that is promoting the growth will be produced in enough quantity. This hormone which is produced in enough quantity will promote the growth properly and the plants will appear tall. If the gene for this enzyme has an alteration, then what will happen? Then everything goes reverse. Gene has an alteration, so it didn't provide correct information. So enzyme or protein that is prepared will not be that much efficient enough. So it will not catalyze the biosynthetic process of that hormone properly. Then the amount of hormone that is produced will be less. Then the less hormone will not be promoting the growth properly and the plants are going to appear short. This is how genes control the characteristics or their traits. Okay, right. Thank you.